We are joined by Senator Tommy Tuberville of the great state of Alabama. We got a lot to dive into with him. But let's start off right here, off the top, Senator. When you look at all of the revelations that continue to come out surrounding Joe Biden, I know that whether or not impeachment should exist is a House decision in the first place. But have you ever seen anything like the allegations of criminal behavior that we've seen from the Biden family in the last several months?
Well, I have not in my lifetime, and it continues to get worse, Clay. It's just amazing. It's been hidden. You know, the mainstream media has done this to our country. This should have been out a long time ago. You know, the laptop came out, and of course they hid that just for the election. But I hate the country is getting ready to have to go through something that we shouldn't have to go through. You know, the leaders at the top should be crystal clear in terms of what they've done, how they've done it, should be vetted thoroughly before, especially when you run for senator or Congress or president of the United States. And there was a lot of cover up, and it's just sad for our country. It's sad for, you know, where our media stands as we speak. And again, we're getting ready to go through something that is unprecedented in this country. And unfortunately, it's going to have to be done.
Senator Tuberville, appreciate you being with us. What do you think is the proper response? Obviously, you don't have a majority in the Senate, so Senate power can't help very much. But this Trump indictment, I know as we speak, you haven't seen it yet. You don't know exactly what's in it, but it's coming. We all know that. What do you think about the fact that we have a presidential candidate and leading presidential candidate right now who is facing multiple criminal indictments in an election year?
Well, they've been after him for 6-7 years, and most of it has not stuck whatsoever. I'm a big Trump fan. I'm a believer even more since I've been here for 2.5 years. We have to have somebody in the White House that believes in our country. Basically what we've got now, guys, is we've got America versus anti-Americans. And it's gotten simply to that point. It's just true vanilla. It's people that want to change this country. President Trump will probably be indicted maybe 1, 2, or 3 more times. They cannot have him run and win because he threw a wrench into their engine last time when he beat Hillary Clinton, and they were just going to continue on with Barack Obama's complete socialist agenda. So it is, again, it's just, I hate it for our country. We're dead broke. We're $32 trillion in debt. We've got the animals running a zoo up here. Now, we've got some good people. I will say that. But we also got a lot of people that want to completely change this country from what it is to something else. They don't want to go by the Constitution. They lie every time they open their mouth. Now, this is some people, and they continue to attack people that love this country. They attack me every day, but I'm fine with that. I mean, I ran for this knowing that I expected to be attacked. But the American people don't deserve this. And it's just something that, unfortunately, we've got to go through it, but we've got to get this country back on the right track. We're off the rails as we speak, and we've got huge problems being broke. We're on the cusp of a major war, World War III. And then if you just look at the things going within our country, we don't have control. There's no security in our country. People don't feel safe. We've got to get back to the country that we all know and love that's been with us for 247 years and go by the dang Constitution and quit breaking it every day.
I'm talking to Senator Tommy Tuberville of Alabama. We're number 1 in Birmingham. We appreciate everybody listening down there. And you are working right now with Joe Manchin on name, image, and likeness legislation. This would impact how all college athletes are able to be compensated. Before I get into that, Joe Manchin, do you think, based on your relationship with him, that he's going to run for president? Do you think he's going to run for governor, back to try to run for the Senate? What do you think he's going to do next year?
I ask him every day. I can't get it out of him. I think he really feels like he's done his service in the Senate. I would not be shocked if he doesn't run for the no league or no name party, whatever they're calling it. Joe's a good person. He's a good American. He believes in the country. He believes in the Constitution. But you just don't know where these people are going to go up here. It's a different world. You got to pick a direction. in a road that which you think you can help the most. Joe's done some good up here. He's done some good since he's been here. He's been in politics a long time, but he's getting to the point where it might be time to go play golf and run around with the grandkids or do something else. But again, you'll have to ask him that question.
All right, so you have been a head football coach, I believe, at Ole Miss, at Auburn, at Texas Tech, and Cincinnati. I remember off the top of my head. NIL, for people out there who don't know, individual college athletes are now able to make money off of their name, image, and likeness, which is the acronym NIL. As a result, there are a lot of different state laws. There's a different law in California than there might be in Florida, than New York and Alabama, all these different places. What are you guys trying to do succinctly for people out there that would federalize in some way one overarching rule, I believe, as it would pertain to NIL?
You're exactly right, Clay. First of all, we want to save college sports because it's what people love in our country, and it's something that has not been corrupted, so to speak. First of all, I'd like to say this. I spent 40 years in it. I understand it. I understand that these athletes, men and women, do a great service, but it's also they are well rewarded for what they do in terms of scholarship, money given from the schools. They already make some money, but I'm not against athletes making more money. I'm for that if they deserve it. What we want to do, Joe Manchin and I, we set out over a year ago to say, okay, let's help the situation. Now, this is not Joe Manchin's bill. This is not Coach Tuberville's bill. This bill that we have written has come from working with athletic directors, presidents, NCAA, coaches, players, all people involved. And it has evolved very many times. We've written it up, we've started over, we've done other things. Actually, we had a bill done about a month ago. Then we had an influx of coaches coming from all over the country, all conferences, and we told them, go to your congressman, go to your senator, give them advice of what you think it needs to be done. And if we need to change this bill, let's do it. And we did. There were some good things that they brought to us. And so we changed it again. We feel like we've got the best bill now, not to go overboard on the rules. Now, I can remember the day back when I was coaching, the NCAA rule book on recruiting looked like a Sears catalog. I mean, the thing was 3 or 4 inches thick. We do not need that. We need basic rules coming from the federal government. And then after that, if we can get this passed, let the NCAA and the people involved add to that how they want. But what we want to do is make sure all 50 states go by the same basic rules. And right now we've got the Wild Wild West going on, and we have to get control. There are 2 things I wanted to make sure we did. Number one, get money out of recruiting. The NIL from the Supreme Court had nothing to do with recruiting money and kids to universities. NIL says you can make money off your name, image, and likeness once you get to the school. And then if you do that, fine, go out and make as much money as you want. We have to put education and the student athlete first. Money needs to come third. And if we don't go in that order, we're going to lose it. We're going to lose women's sports. We're going to lose Olympic sports. Football will survive. Basketball will survive. But the other sports are going to have a hard time making it because they're not going to have any funds to make it.
Senator Tuberville, what do you think the role of the federal government should be, of the legislative branch, obviously, the House, the Senate, in dealing with the gender in sports issue that has been created by the left in recent years, where you have biological males competing against females? Do you think that there's a legislative role that needs to be adopted here?
Well, they're having hearings on it today in the House. It's a shame we have to even approach this or even think about this idea of a biological boy or a man participating in women's sports. It makes no sense. It's not fair, it's not safe, and it's downright wrong. And we've lost all common sense when it comes to that. You've got athletes, women athletes now. There's one that's getting ready to retire that's playing in this women's soccer league right now. And she's all for boys playing in women's sports, only for the fact that she's retiring. Had they been able to play when she was in it, she'd be working at a grocery store or something. I mean, these biological boys and men will take over women's sports if allowed to do that. We're going to fight it tooth and nail. We need women's sports. We need men's sports. They need to be separate. Again, it is not safe to let them participate against each other. And we want to make sure we give women and young girls the opportunities, the same opportunity that Title IX gives them as of boys.
Senator, as we roll into college football season, I'm just curious. How much college football talk is there in the Senate? Like, leave aside politics. I bet Joe Manchin, I think he's a big West Virginia Mountaineer fan, leaving aside the fact Democrat, Republican, everything else. How much college football, how much sports talk in general is there in the Senate when you guys take a break from the political realm of the day?
Oh, there's quite a bit. You'd be amazed. The college sports much more than professional sports, because everybody obviously is from they have their home state or where they went to school. They have to campaign. They have to know a lot about sports at the universities, not just one or two universities, but all the universities in their states. So, yeah, we have a lot of conversation about all the sports. And again, there's a lot of talk about this transgender movement, and I haven't heard many people would even consider this on the Republican side. Now, on the Democratic side, they fall in line like ducks walking behind each other. I know most of them don't believe in it, because they got daughters or granddaughters that don't want this to happen to them, but they let politics get involved. And if we don't get politics out of sports and this transgender movement, then we're going to have huge problems, and very important problems that I don't know whether we can solve them down the road. But yes, we do have quite a bit of talk about sports on the Senate floor, in the cloakroom, and in our hearing rooms.
Well, Senator Tuberville, appreciate you being with us, sir. Thanks very much.
Thank you.